Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Hey, y'all, this has been a crazy couple of years with COVID, just a lot of things going on. And I think that if you listen to our previous episodes, we talked to Dr. Monique Thompson about the state of mental health post COVID and just right now overall. And I feel like that a lot of people right now, as it stands, as we are recording this episode, a lot of people have been going through things. And if you have listened to this season's episodes, you know that I've recently went through a personal breakup or a personal end to a very important relationship in my life. And trust me, there are days to where it is hard to just cope and think that, things won't move on. And like most people, I was not a fan of. If you listen to our show, I hate social media because from a media standpoint, we know how it can be corrupt and just misleading and things like that. So from a journalistic standpoint, we know why I hate social media, but I have bought in and I have found TikTok. And on the days to where I'm feeling kind of upset and sad, I guess the algorithms kind of feel my feelings. And so when I click on stuff and I look at stuff, it brings up different people and different videos to kind of where it's matching my moods. And there was one gentleman that I saw that I keep on seeing on social media. This guy has over almost 9 million likes on his videos. He is killing it right now. Very intelligent. And I often go to his videos and I share his videos because it is so inspiring. It hits home to a lot of the things that I've been going through. And I really think that what he says is something that a lot of people need to hear. So, of course, I had to have him on our show today. He is a very intelligent young man. I've talked to him a little bit, but without further ado, help me welcome Mr. William Diggs, aka Will Keep It Real. I will. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, sir.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
And man, look, Will, you've been killing it, man. Like, I don't know if like the TikTok algorithm just love you, man, but I see you on a lot of things.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of publicity this year, especially 2023. So, heading into this year, I got a lot of stuff planned. Planning to build into something bigger. Hopefully, get a lot more speaking engagements where I could speak publicly, as well as helping people one on one privately. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. I got a lot planned and a lot coming soon.
Oh, yes, sir. And like I said, I'm a big fan. Like, I don't really fanboy over people, man, but like I'm a big proud proponent of intelligence and intelligent speaking, especially me being a journalist. So it's really amazing to see people like you just be so well and crafty with it. But before we get started, can you tell the people about you, introduce yourself, and kind of let us know what you do?
Okay, so my name is William Diggs. I go by Will Keep It Real on social medias. So kind of myself, I'm 20 years old. I'm from Maryland, and what kind of got me into content creation was just my own experiences and my own journey, and kind of finding a way. I would say my videos where it became my way of expressing myself. So some people express themselves through talking to others. Some do it through journaling. Or other mental work. And mine just happened to be through videos. That's how I found it best to express myself, get my feelings out. And so I basically took the negatives that I had on in my life and looked for a way to turn it into a positive. And that happened to be content creation, where I could take the things I went through, the things I was learning through the things I was going through, be able to offer different perspectives and different ways of thinking and approaching certain situations that we face in life to the world in a positive way.
Yeah, and like I said, and the fact that I hate to say that this is kind of like I'm a proud proponent of just not having negativity just drown you in sorrow. You know what I mean? Just drown you emotionally. And I think that and this is the crazy part about it, and I'm very guilty of this because as in growing up, you say, oh well, you're an older person that can't listen to you, or you're younger, sit down and shut up. You're 20, and and for those of you who don't follow Will, you need to today because Will is definitely, like I said, over almost at 9 million likes. Man,
Yeah,
first off, how does that feel to have just 9 million people just really loving your videos?
it's what keeps me going, honestly. Like on those days where you don't want to record, or those days like I've been sick the past couple days where it's like it's killing me to not be able to hop in front of the camera and be able to talk. And I'm finally recovering back, so I'm excited to be able to make more videos. But it almost feels like no matter how many views you get, no matter how many likes you get, somebody's out there waiting to hear your videos. Like I have people where I go live, when I talk to engage with my followers, they're like, I look forward to your videos every day. Like I'm going on your page and I'm scrolling through all your videos because I just love all the things you basically have to offer, all the different perspectives, all the different mindsets. And it's just like I'm trying to grow into a person like you. I'm trying to I know where I am right now and I'm trying to grow into something better. Like I want to do better mentally and stuff like that. So it's honestly what keeps me going because I feel like I had people counting on me, and I basically feel it's my purpose in this world at the moment.
I'd like to hear that. You said at the moment, and that's really key because you this may propel you to go somewhere else to where you may be needed somewhere else, but you have this experience to where you can have this adage to what else you want to do in life and what your purpose is. And I tell people all the time, even like people close to me, I really believe we're in this world not to be selfish. If you have talents, it's your duty to show people what you can do and leave a good impact on them, because I think that's kind of what the world needs, is to have more people who are willing to not be selfish and give them motivation and give them hope, because you never know who needs that, like you said, who needs that motivation and who needs to hear that message just that day. And like, I'm one of those people who needed to hear your message because it came at a time to where, like, and I don't know how TikTok does it, but it knows how to find you, you know what I mean, in the right spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And my thing is, what I was going to say earlier was that, you know, a lot of people, especially me being, older than you, like, you cannot frown upon it, but it's kind of like, why take advice from someone who is younger and who's in the 20s that really haven't experienced life? How do you deal with stuff like that? Or because I grew up in Louisiana, you grew up in Maryland, so I can only imagine how it was just growing up out there. But like, if people don't understand why I'm so wise, but how do you think being as young as you are, being wise as you are, and you living the life you lived, how's that able to help you actually give so much advice to people who were generally older than you and probably experience more heartbreak or sadness than you?
mhm. So when it comes to life in general, we pretty much all go through the same things. We all go through problems. We all go through adversities, challenges, and it's no one correct way of handling it, or there's no like by this certain age you're able to speak on this, or by this certain age you have a full understanding of it. I think it's a matter of how quick you learn, how quick you are able to change your mind, how quickly you go out to try and gain different perspectives. I think a lot of, like I said, we all go through a lot of the same problems. We just don't all handle them the same way. Um, Someone could be 40 years old but have the mindset of a 15-year-old, or approach certain situations like a 15-year-old. And then, like me, I could be 20 years old and approach it like a full grown adult who's had all these different life experiences. Like, but all that comes from experience, all that comes from stopping and kind of processing what's going on, processing emotions, learning what exactly emotions are, um, learning how to recognize emotions and then pause them and be able to not see through the lens of your emotions, but see through the lens of reality. Like when you learn those things, it doesn't come with an age. It comes through like again experience and wanting to learn, understanding like that doesn't have to be your only way of living, and yeah, just learning,
I
gaining
think,
different perspectives.
yeah, different perspective. Exactly. That was my next follow up question. Do you think that, because I know in me, I grew up in the projects. I grew up, I'm a proud project kid. I grew up in the hood. I've seen a lot of things a lot of people still won't see in the rest of their life. And I think that watching other people's, not mistakes, but their lives and like their livelihood and like their experiences kind of helped me become wiser and realize that, it's a cycle, you know what I mean? And then like some things people go through, it is repetitive, you know, and so you're able to actually give advice because you've seen it before. Is that something that kind of helps you too as well, or what?
Yeah. So when it comes to people in general or us as humans, like we love to just focus on the negative. We love to say life is happening to us. Whereas I've developed to say like life is happening for me. Like these things are happening for a reason. And when you go through certain things, some people have been through things repetitively, whether that's certain things within relationships or certain things within trying to go out and do certain things. Basically they see the results and they assume that's always how it has to be. Like some people have grown up in certain environments and can't see the world for anything bigger than what they've grown up in. Like they don't think there's more to the world other than what they've been through. Some people don't think there's more to the world other than what they've been taught in school, what their parents have taught them. And so a lot of us get so attached to the things that have happened to us, the things we've grown up around, um, and we stay attached to those things, and we don't see a bigger picture or a way of changing. We don't understand that there is different ways to go about approaching certain situations. We don't understand that, hey, we can change and become better. Some people think, hey, this has happened to me in life, so this is the reason I'm this way. And then they remain in that state. They're like, oh, I'm selfish because this happened to me when I was younger. Oh, I'm scared of commitment because this happened to me in my past. When it's like you don't realize like your past results don't have to be your forever results. Like there's other outcomes and there's other results that you can get in the world. So that's how I started approaching situations. Like that's how I started approaching my challenges, my failures. Like sometimes you got to fail in order to learn how to win, or like challenges and adversities are opportunities for growth. Like that's where you get to prove yourself right for the visions you have for yourself, and then like understanding that just because you fail doesn't mean you can't learn how to win, or taking negative situations, whether that's a breakup or whether that's a loss of a person in your life, like changing your viewpoint on that situation. Like a lot of people are like get caught in the state of, oh, I'm heartbroken. They start trying to figure out that what that other person was thinking, which is out of our control. Like they focus on the things out of their control, and it's a never-ending problem. Like you can't figure out somebody else's thoughts or the reasons behind them doing certain actions. But what you can control is like how you move forward from that situation. So I started learning that, and I started like approaching the bad situations in my life. I started saying like, okay, how can I? What is God trying to teach me right here? Or what's the lesson I can learn here that maybe I need to be learning? Like it's a purpose for me going through that situation because I need to be learning something in order to approach something later down in life and apply that lesson I learned from something from my past to that situation of the future, because that situation of the future is going to be way more important. Um, so things like that, like honestly, just changing my mindset and perspective, and people in general, that's what they need to do. Like they just need to change their perspective towards the negative situations they face in life, because the reality is challenges, adversities, failures, losing people, like all of that is inevitable to happen in life. But the issue comes when how you approach it, basically. That determines whether you're at peace with it. That determines whether it makes you depressed, whether it makes you anxious, whether it holds you back in fear from going out and doing other things in the world. Like it all comes from perspective and how you approach the situation.
Wow, man, and he just said a lot, and really just I'm trying to compose myself and actually just be an interviewer, but me is like I'm listening to you and learning, because you struck a chord with me, and it's like, dang man, I'm trying to listen and like and not be an interviewer, but it's like man, just what you said really makes a lot of sense. We're gonna have a little bit more with William Diggs, aka Will keeps it real, and we're gonna make sure that he stays around. We have a little bit more questions with you, Will, if you stay with us. We have more Straight Up Show podcasts on the other side of the break. Make sure you stay tuned. Years ago, my family had us scared when we thought my mom had breast cancer. It was painful to see her go through all the testing and witnessing her be just as scared. Fortunately, she did not have breast cancer, but millions of women and men aren't as lucky. So we here at Straight Up are supporting and standing with those who are battling and have survived breast cancer with our official breast cancer awareness merchandise. Just visit our website, straightupshowpodcast.com, and get yours today. All proceeds will be donated to local breast cancer foundations. So we encourage you not only to get educated, but join us as we stand straight up to breast cancer.
Our world is made up of roughly 8 billion people. People of different races, different cultures, and different languages. And sometimes being different is often frowned upon due to a number of things. But here at Straight Up, we believe it's our job as people to sit at the table, learn from each other, in hopes of making our world into a better place to live. So join us as we have these cultural conversations. Only on the Straight Up Show podcast.
The moment you know what you want in life and where you want to be is the moment you have to realize you have choices. So if you have a goal for yourself, it's on you to pursue it, and you can't blame nobody else. So if your goal is to heal, yet you're returning to the things of the past that hurt you, if your goal is to start a business, yet you're out partying every weekend, if your goal is to protect your peace, yet you're still surrounding yourself around toxic people, I hope you understand that that's on you. Because if you have a goal, then the choices and the decisions you make should align with helping you reach that goal. Because the ideas you create for yourself and the visions you have for yourself, it's all worthless if you never take any action to make it a reality. And that is
All
real.
right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. I'm your host, Calvin. If you can see my light right now, if you're watching on TV or YouTube, my lighting is bad. I look horrible. I'm trying something new this year, and I don't know. I'll get there, y'all. I promise. But today we are talking all things about being motivated, and we have none other than Mr. William Diggs. We'll keep it real. Once again, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, sir. And like I said, Will is, I think, one of the biggest TikTokers out there right now on the platform of TikTok and social media. He has over 9 million likes on TikTok, and just Will, I don't know, because you are a influencer, right? And like I said, we're more old school media, so we do social media, but we're more like we get behind commercials and like do it the old fashioned way and get somebody behind us pumping it. But with you, how does it make you feel as an influencer to see people actually taking your videos and making it as their own? Does that make you upset, or how does it make you feel?
Uh, I don't think I think I'm one of a kind. Like I view myself as a person that's one of a kind. So whether people try and copy my content or even like some people, I have a lot of people hit me up, ask, "Hey, can I repost your video on my page? I have a motivational based page." I say, "Go for it." Like, gets me free marketing. Gets my name out there to audiences or followers that may not already be following me. So I don't take it too deep. At the end of the day, I'm myself, and I don't think there's anybody else like me. I'm authentic with what I do, so that's how I view it.
Yeah, and you definitely are one of a kind, man. Like, I look at it from a journalist's perspective and like a talent's perspective because we work in media. So to see you like just how your calm demeanor, your voice, I'm like, man, you like perfect, like perfect TV. Like, this is definitely like somebody we would look for in marketing and media right now. So, man, I don't know what your future holds, bro, but hey, if you got a future in TV if you ever pursue it. I'm just saying. So you have that calm demeanor and I love it, man. So but yeah, that's kind of how like I saw you. That's kind of how I took Will serious because I did see him and not only on his official page, but I saw his repost everywhere. And to see his repost from one page to one page, and these pages they don't have just like thousands of likes. These pages have millions of likes. So to see him, like I said, just self branding and like see him getting reposted and stuff like that. It goes to show you what kind of message he has and what he's bringing. So we had to bring him on the show. Now, Will, you give so much positive advice, but like I said, you've been through a lot and in life that kind of helps you be as wise as you are. But what are some negative challenges that you currently face or you face to make you be so positive?
Okay, so before I was even doing content, before I decided to get into content, I'm saying I went through a little situation, and it was something I had never experienced before. Like, it truly put me in a position where my mind was consumed by one person for like the entire day. I had nothing to look forward to in life. So that was the main event of my life. And that was like what was repetitively being cycled through my brain every day. Like, unless I found a distraction such as like schoolwork for an hour or two, or hopping on the game for however many hours, or finding a show to watch, it was like I was in the house, and when I wasn't distracted, that was the only thing going through my brain. And like I stated before, it was that constant cycle of trying to figure out that why behind a situation, certain situation happening. Um, and so I went through that, and and then one day I just said I can't afford to basically have this going on. Like, I knew something had to change. I didn't know exactly what. So I just started trying a bunch of stuff. I got into things like graphic design. So I started learning how to do graphic design. I was started a landscaping business. I was researching, like, basically researching careers like power washing, like something to get me into in order to get my mind out of that negative space, that negative place that I was like seemingly drowned in. Like, it felt like it mentally was draining me, the state I was in. And eventually came around to content creation and getting a job and things like that. Um so yeah, that's one of the challenge I would say I faced is that I lost myself at the loss of another person. So I lost track of the path I was going, the things I was pursuing in life, who I was as a person, and it kind of taught me. I kind of evaluated what was going on. Like, I started questioning, why do I feel this way? Why does someone have the power to lead my life or do these certain things to me? And it makes me lose complete focus on my life. It makes me spiral out of control. And it started connecting me to things like self-love, understanding self-worth, understanding self-value, understanding what I want in a person, and or what I want out of the environment and people I place around me. Um, Understanding what type of person I am and what value I offer to the world, and understanding that I can't just give that to everybody. So it got me in the mindset of starting to develop that self love, starting to develop that self worth, and bringing recognition to those things, and seemingly understanding that getting out of that situation, getting away from a person who didn't see that self love, who didn't see that self value, who didn't see my self worth and what I deserved as a person, it put me in a state of that was actually the best possible outcome for me. It's good I got out of a situation of someone who didn't see those things in me. And that's what kind of pushed me to, again, start making content, like developing those certain areas of my life and starting to offer them to the world, because I knew I wasn't the only one who went through those type of
Yeah, and as you're saying that, I'm already knowing it. It's actually like, in our previous episode, that's what I talked about. Like, I went through a recent just breakup overall of a relationship, just from friendship, relationship to situationship. It was just a lot, and everything you just said is exactly what, personally what I'm going through. This is why I said I had to have him because he makes it very personal. And I think like even with politicians, like the more personal or coaches or whatever, the more personal you are with people, the more they are drawn to you. So like just even hear you say that, I was the same way, brother. I was the same way. I didn't know how I got lost in someone. I didn't know how I got let this person have so much power over you. And like you and I, we're part of the same kind of generation, kind of sort of. And like, with this age of social media and, I want to get your views of the current state, and let's start with dating first. The current state of dating during the social media age, and like people are so willing to be so selfish and so hurtful. And like I said, one video you sent me, that you showed me, I saw it on your page, sorry, was that, don't come back to me. If you didn't mess with me back then, like, why don't if you didn't love me back then, I can't quote it for sure, but like, don't come back around, and like that was one of my favorite videos by you, and it really stuck to me. So just kind of give me your opinion about the state of our generation and how negatively or how you view social media plays in love in this right now in this generation.
When it comes to social media, man, it's a mess. Genuinely, honestly, and it's more so because people aren't aware of what exactly it's doing to them. Like I don't know if you know much about the subconscious mind or how it works, but basically you get influenced by what you intake. So the consistent content you're taking in, you tend to and take it and then apply it to your life. So you're taking other people's realities, other people's situations, other people's circumstances, and trying to apply them to yours. And like you mentioned earlier with TikTok, how it seemingly finds this way to find things that relate to your situation. And so one thing I noticed was, or one thing I questioned a few months ago was, how can you ever get over someone or be able to move on from someone if every time you log on to TikTok or Instagram, whatever, you're constantly being reminded of them? Like, just from the algorithm. Like it's constantly reminding you, hey, remember this person, like remember what they did to you, remember to feel this way. Like it constantly puts you in a state of having to remember, having to reminisce on the past, having to live in the past, when in reality you're trying to move forward. Like you're trying to grow from that situation. You're trying to move forward in life and look forward to bigger and better things. Like you're trying to get away from that past situation. Um, and so what's happening is people are being fed consistent content that keeps them in that negative state or keeps them in the past. And basically what's happening is people are taking other people's relationship situations. They're in a constant state of comparing to other people's relationships. Maybe you're in a healthy relationship and then you or your significant other sees somebody else's relationship and them doing a certain act of service or them going on a certain date, they bring that social media relationship or those highlights of those relationships and start trying to apply it to yours. Start saying, oh, you're not doing enough, or I'm settling for you. Like people consistently are in a state of comparison and bringing other people's realities into their own, trying to apply other people's scenarios who they don't have the full picture. They just have one little glimpse of it and apply it to their own. And it's causing negativity, drama, unnecessary chaos, or like I say, depression, in a constant state of feeling alone. It just keeps you in that negative state. So
Yeah,
that's my
and so with your platform, like, because this is kind of like I'm one of those people. I think you and I are kind of the same, like to where we have to find answers to things. You know what I mean? And like with me, like I try to use my platform for positivity as much, and that's why it's called Straight Up, because not everything you see on social media is always hunky dory or just happiness. Like I always share, like I talked about my personal relationship, like I was very open about it, like because it's reality, and and like you share your experiences because you never know who may need to hear it or may can like need to hear that type of motivation about how you got out of it. But my question is, what are some components or some methods that you think that with all this negativity on social media, how do you think that you as an influencer or us or people in general can combat this? Because I really feel like it's a lot of people fighting this, and there are good people like you who are going against it as well. And it's kind of like they're winning, but what are some tips or what do you do to help combat this?
um so I think people lack knowing what they want. So they understand where they are or they're in this state, but they don't know where they're trying to go. And I think people need help figuring out where they're trying to go and the steps that are in between where they are now and getting to where they want to go. And so that's why I want to get into one-on-one coaching where I'm helping people get from that negative way of thinking, getting from that those self-limiting beliefs or that depressing state or whatever, and figuring out how to get them to a more positive mindset, a mindset that serves you, gaining better perspectives towards certain situations in life. So yeah, I think it's a lack of just not knowing exactly what they want, and then not knowing the proper steps to take. So that's why in my content, I like to offer, hey, this is the situation, but here's how you can kind of approach it. Here's how a better way of approaching it that keeps them moving forward rather than dwelling on the problem itself, but instead taking the next steps to find a solution to their problem and understanding that their problem isn't is temporary. Like it's not a never ending problem. It doesn't always have to be a problem. Like there's ways to move in which you can move forward, basically.
I've always said this, and you can tell me if you agree with this or not, but from my perspective, I really think that social media is a breeding ground for mental health issues.
I agree. Like I said, it keeps people in that negative state of thinking. It keeps people fixated on all the negatives that are happening in life, and it keeps them in a victim mindset of life is happening to me.
Yeah, and that's really sad to see, and like I said, and I'm not really understanding why a lot of people aren't as self-aware about, and bringing their issues. Like, trust me, I'll bring my issues, and, we all go through mental health issues. And like, my thing is, I always tell people, like you do, don't keep it in, journal it, and like, go back and like our resident of psychologist on our show, Dr. Morning Thompson, like she always comes on the show and talks about mental health. And if you say you're sad or you're mad, say I'm sad right now, but at the end of that you put right now. I'm sad right now, I'm mad right now, I'm depressed right now. And you take that right now is that moment, and it won't ever last because you're in that right now. So, first off, shout out to Dr. Morning Thompson. But just to see that, it's a right now feeling. But people get so held down on just staying in that right now. You know what I mean? And me personally, I'm stuck on this thing about, and this is me personally, y'all. I'm on a journey of self love again because I've always, if you watched our show or talk or listened to our show, they always told me that I was too big to be on TV or I couldn't make it because I was a fat guy. I played ball and all that stuff like that, but they always told me I couldn't do it. And here I am, on TV and like been on TV, and so it's like I was always confident, but to have
Mm.
one person that that didn't apparently love me to just take that from me, to get that power over me, to like make me lose my confidence and self love. So, Will, I say this to ask you, what does self love mean to you, and how do you think people can achieve it?
Self love, I like to say, is the acceptance of who and where you are now in life. The acceptance of all right, the acceptance of who and where you are now, figuring out who you want to be, who you want to grow into, the type of person you're trying to become, and loving each version of yourself you become along the way. So maybe you're trying to get up here, you're down here. There's a whole in between journey to even get up here. And so loving yourself at each version of yourself you become along that way, meaning the failures you make. Like I say, everybody's trying their hardest to become somebody they've never been before. And so with that, you don't have all the steps figured out. You don't have an idea of the adversities and challenges you might have to face on that journey because it's never been traveled before. Like nobody has your exact scenario or situation, meaning that path is like nobody's ever been on it before. So you have to allow yourself to love yourself through those failures, understanding that those failures don't define you and don't define that, hey, you're not good enough, or hey, you don't look good enough, or hey, you aren't capable. um that's another thing. People give up so quick because they create these self-limiting labels for themselves where they say, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or um I'm not capable of doing this specific things. They create self-limiting labels for themselves that keep them from moving forward or even continuing that journey when those adversities and challenges hit. So that's what self-love is to me. Like it's loving yourself for who you are, accepting yourself for who you are, but understanding who you're trying to become and loving yourself as you go through the journey of becoming that person.
Self-limiting. Wow. That was deep, and that's so true. Wow. That's wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is William Diggs, aka Will for Real, we'll keep it real. Sorry, my bad. We'll keep it real. There we go. Make sure I get it right, y'all. We'll keep it real. Do y'all see why I had him on the show? He is very intelligent, very inspirational, and I really think that you all need to tap into him. We're gonna have a little bit more with Will on the other side of the break. Make sure you stay tuned to the Straight Up Show podcast.
Straight up means to be able to speak in a way that is straight up, to be honest, and to speak your truth.
Raw, uncut, you know what I mean? It's blunt, straight to the point. This what it is.
It's just a place to be open and honest, and that's what I appreciate most about it. And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other about things that are going on in the world, because it affects all of us.
Unfiltered, raw, with all the cursing that Calvin does.
Straight up is just being real, telling it like it is, being you.
Being solid, being who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what situation you're faced with. Right, this is who you are. It really speaks to me, saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Straight up.
It's Monday, and you know what that means. A new artist hits the Straight Up stage for another edition of Music Monday. Tune in to hear talented music artists from all over the world. Artists like Victoria Silk and Jonathan Valenzuela. Come experience some of the best that music has to offer and see why fans want more. Artists like the Rap Assassin 5. It's Music Monday, only on the Straight Up Show podcast. Are you an up-and-coming artist and would like your music to be featured on the show? Don't wait. Send us a message right now.
Stop looking for yourself and other people, or you'll forever be disappointed. Because you gotta realize, not everybody has the same values and morals as you. What you may see as disrespectful and inconsiderate, they may see no problem with it. And it's not your responsibility to try and make them change. Because for some people, they just gotta learn the hard way. And that is real.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. I'm your host, Calvin. I am joined today by William Diggs, a.k.a. Will Keep It Real. I'm going to name you Will straight up because, man, you just been so straight up with us, So once again, I just want to say he's been doing a great job and giving us some motivating topics and advice. So once again, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you again for having me, man. It's been great so far.
Yes, sir. And like I said, he is definitely it's really rare to find people who really understand the true value of self-love and true just their own personal experience and just taking it and giving it to the world. And because honestly, Will, you don't have to be on the show. You don't have to be on your platform, but you choose to. And I think that's really a blessing, in my opinion, to share your personal experience and come on the show and just tell people that it's gonna be okay, and it's definitely needed, brother.
I agree.
So, with everything going on right now, and I've been seeing people just being so sad and depressed about life, and and I don't know if you agree with this, but it feels like between November and February, that's when you started really hearing all these depressing conversations and just with Thanksgiving and Christmas and then Valentine's Day, do you think the same thing or?
Yeah, I think it's promoted a lot more. I think it, like I said before, it puts you in that constant state of comparison to those who are in those relationships, or you see people posting matching pajamas, posting with each other's families,
Mm.
Valentine's Day gifts. So it kind of can get you in that state of comparison and kind of getting down on yourself for not being in a situation that you want to be in.
Mm. And like I said, you have done, great. You've been killing it on social media. Your name is getting out there, man. I see. You know what kills me? Actually excites me is to see people who I know I don't follow on TikTok
Hmm.
but on Facebook and they repost you. I'm like, my friends know, who you are. So to see them who don't know that I'm on, because I always say I don't like TikTok, but I'm really on it. But to see them on other platforms actually promoting you, I'm like, man, they see the same thing, the same realness that I see. You know what I mean? So to me, to see it come full circle, that man, he's really out here being a light to this dark world, in my opinion. So with that being said, like you currently right now you have this platform and you have 9 million people that love your content. You got more other places too. You're everywhere. uh what do you have coming up and what more do you want to do with this platform?
So the big thing I'm working on next is launching my coaching program, which is where you'll be able to work with me one on one directly for 3 to 6 months. Because when it comes to reframing your mindset, it doesn't happen overnight. Like you can watch one motivational video, but like there's action steps, plans, and habits you have to form to be able to grow into that person that you're trying to become. And so I say I'm a mindset coach where I help people get out of that limiting mindset, get out of that negative mindset, and learn how to think more positively. Understand the underlying reasons behind their limiting beliefs or why they do certain things, why they have a viewpoint on certain things in life, like situations, like whether that's from an experience, whether that's from what their parents taught them, what they've always been told, what the world tells them they should be. So it's understanding where they are and then helping them take the steps to get to where they want to be. So that's what that one-on-one coaching looks like. And secondly, I have a community dropping on the app called School, on this app called School, Skool. And basically what that community will be is uh where I will have lessons basically. So it'll be like 30-minute videos, 15, 30-minute videos of me teaching or talking about a specific topic, basically teaching you how to gain a different perspective or offering different perspectives or offering how you can approach certain situations or understanding what your process typically is when approaching certain situations and the effect it has on you. Um, and along with that will be weekly calls where you'll be able to ask me questions one on one about your situation. So like almost like a Q&A. And also like I might do like a PowerPoint presentation, or I might, like I'm doing now, just talk over a specific topic, um, and offer my perspective on it. And along with merch. So my merch should be coming out very soon. Um, I have 2 hoodies coming out. So this is one where it's just this on the front, and I have this where it has built off mistakes on the back, and it says mistakes are never a failure, but rather a lesson in which you learn how to win. And then it just has my a smaller logo on the front over the chest. But yeah, so those are the 3 main things I have coming out. Some other things include like teaching people how to grow on social media. Like I get people asking me, how can I do what you do basically, but like with my own voice, with my own perspectives. So eventually later down the year, I might get into that, teaching other people how to grow on social media or how to do motivational videos, things like that. But those are the main three.
Yeah, I definitely can see you out there on stage, man, giving like a whole lecture to people. Man, I see it. I see it, bro. I see it coming. Like I see you just going state to state, just giving motivational speaking engagement because I see it, man. You have that talent. You have pure talent, and I think this podcast is testament that I have a good eye for talent, man. And you definitely are on your way. Personally, let me ask you this. This is very personal. Do you ever think that now you're at this point of, notoriety and like just, the platform that you're on right now? Do you think that now you have that pressure that to keep going, or do you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you, or you can't stop now?
So the thing with doing what I do is that I love it. Like I'm constantly learning, like constantly watching different videos. I'm constantly reading. Um, and so I'm constantly learning different perspectives and different ways of approaching situations. Like I don't think there's ever going to be a point in time where I'm perfect. And I think that's another thing people struggle with is chasing after perfection. And I like to say perfection is a point where there's no more room for growth. Um, because if you're perfect, then there's no more you can learn. There's no more where you could grow in life, and that's simply not a realistic expectation. In fact, it's impossible. Um, so as of now, I love what I do. Um, I love making videos. I love challenging myself to become better at videos. So no, I don't feel pressured. I've been making videos for a year and a half, almost 2 years now. Um, it'll be 2 years come June, but as of now, it's like a year and a half. But I never felt pressured really. I have over 400 videos made. Um, at some point, it can feel like I'm getting burned out, but for the main part, I love what I do. Like I say, there's people counting on me. There's people who look forward to my videos, and that honestly is what keeps me going.
And that's definitely, like I said, man, you got a fan here. And it's crazy that I know this was 2 years, man. You just blew up
Yeah,
like this in 2 years. Wow.
yeah. Started when I was 18, summer of 2022.
Wow. And now look at you. So
Yeah,
could you imagine 2 years from now what you'll be? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And it all came from just self belief, belief in myself, being
and
willing to take the risk.
And it's that easy. It's really that easy, and like, and this is my quote. I have a quote too. I always say that strive for perfection, even though perfection is impossible to reach. You know what I mean? Like, so always keep pushing. Keep pushing, and
Yeah,
it's that easy. And I tell people all the time, it's like what you see was straight up. This wasn't an overnight success. Like,
yeah,
we still have journeys to be going right now, but always celebrate the small victories in life, but don't give
exactly.
up.
Exactly. Like the belief you have in yourself will carry you as far as you want to go. Like the minute you don't believe in yourself, or the minute you're looking, depending on others to depend on that belief in yourself for them telling you they believe in you or whatever, that's the moment all of it can come crashing down. Like you have to believe in yourself. It has to be a foundation within.
Yeah, and like I said, I found myself having a weak moment. Trust me, you invest in one person and you don't invest in yourself and you lose yourself. I'm a proud proponent of that, and trust me, you will have weak moments, But the thing is, you cannot give up, and I'm learning that right now. I'm on a journey for self love and trying to find myself. And look what Will did in 2 years, y'all. In 2 years, he's setting this world on fire right now, and with his motivating videos and his inspiration testimonies, and it's definitely needed right now, especially in today's age of social media and self-doubt, and so people like him in 2 years has done this. With that being said, Will, how can people continue to follow your journey and see what you're doing and kind of be part of this motivational train that you're on right now?
Yeah, of course. So on Instagram, you can follow me at Will Keep It Real One, and then on TikTok, you can follow me at Will Keep It Real Two, and then on YouTube, I am under Will Keep It Real,
And
and
of
that's
course,
main
okay,
three platforms.
okay, so let's say last part.
I said those are my main three platforms.
Okay. And of course, we'll have all his information. If you're watching TV right now on YouTube, we'll have it on the ticker below. And also, if you're watching this, listening to it, we'll have all this information on the podcast episode. Will, before you go, you're a very motivating person. Can you speak to the people right now in the world? Can you give them like just one message about just being positive and motivated. Just if you can, before you leave, talk to the people, please.
Stay positive. Strive to think positive. Understand that your past is not always your future. Your past doesn't define what your future looks like, and be open to changing. Forever be changing. Forever be adapting new perspectives. Understand that your perspective and the way you view things isn't always the only option. Um, and yeah, find what works for you to become the best version of you.
All right, there you have it. Will, once again, William Diggs, aka Will Keep It Real. Thank you, brother, for coming on Strap Show Podcast.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, there you have it. Hey, y'all, that was a very inspirational episode. If y'all have not followed Will, I definitely encourage you, like, make him part of your algorithms, because he is definitely somebody that needs to. When you open up that app and you see Will, I promise you that it will make your day. It will give you that push that you need to get out of bed and be the best version, like he said, be the best version of yourself, not just today, but tomorrow and the next day, years to come. Look what he's accomplished in 2 years. In 2 years. So if you can keep that mindset, even for 30 days, keep it going. Don't stop. Trust me, I'm not perfect. And if you listen to the previous episodes, I've had my downfalls, but I won't give up, and neither should you. Hey, that's the end of our show. We have a little bit more with this. If you want to go back and listen to our previous episodes about mental health and things like that, go back to our website at strapshowpodcast.com. That's STR8upshowpodcast.com. There you can see previous episodes, our merch, different people that love the show, reviews, learn more about us and learn more about mental health awareness. And now you can see Will's episode as well. You can see his links and following him as well. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Strap Show Podcast 318. That's patreon.com/Strap Show Podcast 318. Until then, there's only one rule to our show. You gotta be
straight up.
There you have it. Take care, guys.